Hello everyone, Shakti here from Rolling for Loot with another video today on defeating the world pet battle bosses in Legion. So today we're up against Stitches Jr., who is a quest out in Dalaran. You can find him just on the top edge of Dalaran. There we are, right there, defeat Stitches Jr. He is exceptionally tricky because he's just that guy. So, a couple of things about Stitches. Stitches is undead. He also ignores all damage under 500. So that makes him super challenging. He also has 3 different abilities. He has a cleave, which does damage to all creatures, including the back row. He has an enrage, which does double the damage for him and makes him increase his damage taken by 50%. And then he has another swipe, I believe. It's just a one-hit thing, which he normally will cast after Enrage, and it does boatloads of damage. So it took me a long time to figure out how to defeat this guy. My purpose with these videos is to figure out how to defeat these world bosses and share that with you using simply pets that you can get by capturing, questing, tokens, pets that you can acquire in-game, not by using pets that you would purchase in the store. One of the problems I've found by looking up strategies on warcraftpets.com or wowhead, frequently the comments are, I beat this guy using X pet that I purchased in the store and then I boosted and it was 3 hits and I win. While that's all well and good, not all of us have access to those pets, and it's not always something that we want to invest our money in. I have other things I want to spend my money on, and I've spent all this time collecting all my pets. I'd like to actually use them in pet battles. So, for Stitches, because he is an undead, we're going to take a look and see what other damage he takes as an undead. So he actually takes boosted damage from critters. So it took me a long time to go through my critters and discover what pets actually did the right types of damage and was able to survive his hits long enough, because he just does so much damage. And it's not quite so much that he does so much damage, it's that he doesn't take any damage. So here's what I did. I actually managed to figure out how to defeat him using a single pet. The marsh fiddler, which is a pet that you can get out in the Valley of Four Winds. You have to do a series of pet battling quests out in the Valley of Four Winds, or out in Pandaria. I believe you have to defeat all the Pandarian world quests. And once you've done that, you get this marsh fiddler, and he is absolutely worth it for this battle. I'm also going to use another cricket, which I have here, who is actually not even rare. Hold on. Let me find him. Where are you at? He's in here somewhere. Grassland hopper. And then I'm going to use, let's see, what else am I going to use? Squirrel. Because the squirrel was actually the only other thing I found that did any kind of damage to him. So Bullwinkle goes in there. So the abilities that I'm going to use against this guy, I have my main hit, which is just the standard big single hit. And I'm going to use that on both of my crickets. I have a cocoon strike, which actually does a hit, which he ignores because it's under 500, and then encompasses the critter in a cocoon. So it ignores all damage coming from the next strike, and then we have a heal. So both of these are set up the same way. The squirrel, I've just set up to do as much damage as I can. If it gets to the squirrel, I'm probably dead anyway, because like I said, if it makes it through both of these grassland hopper and the fiddler, if it makes it through that guy, there's no way I'm beating him. So just to give you an idea of where I get these guys, Bullwinkle, my squirrel, is absolutely, he's just a regular squirrel. You can get him anywhere. That's just where he is. And then the grassland hopper, I think I got it out in Pandaria too. Hold on. Let's see. Tao Long Steps. It's just another cricket. Crickets. Their win against this guy. So let's see how this combat goes. So like I said, because it took me forever to figure out how to beat him, I had to actually study all of his abilities and figure out exactly, my timings are important with this guy. I needed to see exactly what buffs he had for himself and what extra damage he did on my pets as well. So I'll go over this stuff because he is one of the tougher world bosses that I've had to fight. This is the Iron Thread. He ignores, again, all attacks that do less than 500 damage. So right out of the gate, he's going to ignore pretty much everything you do. So unless you have pets that are able to do a ton of damage right out of the gate, just don't even bother. Now, the Iron Starlet and pets similar to that, Iron Starlet is a mechanical, can do a ton of damage. My problem with those guys is there's no survivability there. They can't take a whole lot of hits, and you frequently can only get maybe one hit off per pet. So if that's a strategy that works for you, then go ahead and give that a try. But I just found for myself, I'd rather have something that has that staying power. His abilities, like I said, he has that cleave, which does damage to everybody in the party. He has an enrage, and the infected claw is actually his big hit. He always starts off with his enrage, and I'll show you what happens here. With his enrage, his next hit is going to hit at 100% more damage, and his damage taken is going to be increased by 50%. So, because of that, I'm going to Cocoon Strike, which is my small hit, and then I get covered into a cocoon. He's going to enrage, which means his next hit is going to hit my cocoon, and I won't actually take that damage. My next hit is going to do double damage to him, so I'm actually going to skitter, and hopefully that'll be enough to actually do some damage to him. There we go, 659. And now it's been boosted, so I'm going to hit him again, which he's going to ignore. Oh, it actually hit. Well, I will take that. Thank you very much. He hasn't taken a whole lot of damage, so I'm going to save my heal here. I'm going to Cocoon Strike. Oh, this is... RNG loves me today. I did not expect that. Now here's the fun part about his enrage. It's actually on the same timer as my Cocoon Strike, so I know that whenever my Cocoon Strike is up and available, I should use it. Here we are. There's his enrage, and I skitter. I'm going to ignore his big hit. There we go. Nice, huh? Heal. This is also one of the only world bosses that I've come up against where he'll actually swap out his two other hits. His enrage timer is always going to be at the same time. His enrage ability, is always going to go off at the same time. But his cleave and his infected claw, he'll switch out. So here we go. We're going to... Excuse me. There's his enrage. We're going to skitter. My back pets are going to die, but that's okay. The fiddler's going to carry everybody. He's just that good. Back when I was trying to get this guy, he's actually one of the bosses you have to defeat out in Pandaria in order to get him as your own pet. It took forever for me to figure out how to defeat him because he has so many heals. And my Cocoon Strike. So he's not an easy fight either, and eventually I'll be doing a series on those world bosses as well. But for now, we'll just do Legion because that's what's current. And he's undead, so he's going to res. Now I only need to survive long enough to do one more hit, and because I'm actually hitting first, I'm not even going to bother with the heal. I'll just skitter. Wish he blocked. And he dies. And that's how you defeat Stitches Jr. Single pet. I love it. It's awesome. I'm so happy that I found this. I wasn't expecting to be able to defeat him with a single pet because it took me a very long time to figure out how to do it. But if you're so inclined, that's one quick way to get through this boss. Thanks for joining me today. Feel free to leave a comment down below. Feel free to subscribe to Rolling for Loot, and we'll catch you all next time. Bye.